end to end. Did you know your brain and your gut have a lot more in common than most of us might guess? Coming up, how the food we put in our stomachs could affect the way you think. Welcome back to Good Morning Arizona. Time now is 8:10, and this morning's Health Watch, you may not realize it, but your brain and your gut have a lot in common. In fact, your gut is home to something called the second brain. Here to talk about this, because she's got a bigger brain than the rest of us, she's a doctor, is Dr. Sharon Thompson, Managing Director of Central Phoenix Obstetrics and Gynecology.
Good morning.
Good morning. It is great to see you, and I'm glad we're talking about this. It seems like it's become trendy to focus more on gut health, but it's really a revelation for a lot of people out there.
Absolutely.
To know how much it affects your overall wellness.
The gut is phenomenal. I mean, our gut has 100 million neurons in it.
Whoa.
Right, which you never think about. You think of your brain as having nerve cells, but the gut has quite a few. And the other thing that the gut has that's fascinating is a whole host of bacteria that live there that are helpful. So we often think of bacteria as being causing illness and being bad, and you have to get rid of them. But we actually have millions and millions of helpful bacteria in our gut that actually help regulate a whole host of things.
So it's keeping that in balance, and that affects the rest of your body.
And we're just at the beginning of learning just how much effect there is. Scientists are starting to realize that the bacteria and those nerve cells interact to affect everything from your mood to your energy level and definitely how you feel, right? We all know you eat the wrong thing and you feel it. And so, but that relationship is so complicated. And your immune system, most of it lives in your gut. So your overall health, whether you get colds often or you feel under the weather, you feel tired, is affected by what's going on in your gut.
Well, and it's nice to know that we can do something about impacting our health in a positive way. I mean, if people say, oh, I get sick all the time, I don't know why. Well, maybe you can begin with what you're putting into your diet to make sure everything's healthy in your stomach. So what can we add?
Diet is so much of health. And so one of the things that's missing, especially from the American diet, is fermented foods. Some people are yogurt. They love yogurt and they have it every day, and they're actually ahead of the game. Because yogurt contains live bacterial cultures that help keep that bacteria population in your gut healthy. Other foods that have it are things like kombucha. It's a drink that's getting more popular and more available these days. Sauerkraut, lots of people put that on their hot dogs, but sauerkraut is good for your gut. Miso, which is not a big part of the American diet, it's more Asian, you think of it. You can make soups with miso, flavor fish or meat with it, and that's a great healthy part of your diet. Also something called kefir, which is a yogurt drink.
My husband has just started taking
it. You know, you try it and see if it's to your taste. But that can be helpful as well as kimchi, which we know from Korean food. And those are not part of the normal American diet, average American diet, but can be helpful for your gut.
And we've got a picture of the probiotics aisle, and I really advocate for probiotics. I take it every day, and I feel like it's made a big difference for me, and I even have my son on a children's version.
Probiotics are intimidating, as you can see from that picture. There are lots of them, and there's really no good guidance on how to pick one from the other. Just like all these foods that we just talked about, probiotics will help keep that gut bacteria healthy. The ones that you can buy in a liquid or a pill, those are a little bit more iffy though, because you're not sure what's in the bottle. Whereas from food, we know that there are live cultures there, and that we know that these things can help with the gut flora, but there's no harm in taking a probiotic. And some people may find that it really helps them.
Well, also if you have maybe some lactose sensitivity, it's harder to get that yogurt into your diet.
The dairy, definitely.
I dig the kimchi if I could just figure out how to cook with it. I guess you just eat it straight from the jar.
Exactly. Some people really love it just as a side.
Well, Dr. Thompson, thanks so much. So interesting.
You're welcome.
We'll see you soon.
Take care of your gut. Listen to it too.
Listen to your gut.